I want to tell you something honest. I did not know how to boil an egg until I was 22 years old. I am not joking. I genuinely did not know. I never had to. My brother Rayan always cooked. He always cleaned. He always paid the bills. He always knew what to do. I just lived inside the life he built and I never asked any questions. That was my normal. That was all I knew. And I thought it would stay that way forever. I was wrong. Growing up, it was just the two of us and our mother. Our father left when I was very young. I barely remember him. Rayan was 6 years older than me, and he became the man of the house very early. He was serious. He was responsible. He always had a plan. I was the opposite. I was relaxed. I was carefree. I was the funny one. I was the one who made jokes at dinner and stayed up late watching things on my phone. I never worried about anything because Rayan always handled everything. If the electricity bill came, Rayan paid it. If the landlord called, Rayan talked to him. If something broke in the house, Rayan fixed it or found someone to fix it. I just watched. Sometimes I said thanks. Most of the time, I did not even do that. I thought that was just how life worked. Some people handle things and other people enjoy life. I was very happy to be in the second group. My friends sometimes told me I was lucky to have Rayan. I always agreed, and then went back to doing nothing. Rayan got a job offer when I was 22. It was in another country, a good job, a big salary, a real opportunity. He was excited. I could see it in his eyes. I smiled and told him congratulations, but inside something felt strange. He sat me down one evening. He made tea. He looked at me in that serious way he always had. He said, "Listen, I am leaving in 3 weeks. You need to learn some things before I go." I laughed. I said, "What things?" "You are just going abroad. You are not dying." He did not laugh back. He said, "I am serious. You are 22 years old. You do not know how to cook. You do not know how to manage money. You have never paid a bill in your life. You have never even gone grocery shopping alone," I wanted to argue. But I could not, because he was right about every single thing. I said, "I will figure it out." He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, "I hope so." The first week after Rayan left was okay. I had food in the fridge. The house was clean. Everything was still running from what he had set up before going. I felt fine. I thought maybe this independence thing is actually easy. I ordered food online most days. I watched TV. I called Rayan sometimes. He picked up and gave me tips. It felt like nothing had changed that much. Then the second week started. The fridge was empty. I had to go shopping. I went to the supermarket alone for the first time in my life. I am not exaggerating. The first time, I walked in, and I stood there. I did not know where anything was. I did not know how much things cost. I did not have a list. I just grabbed things that looked familiar. I spent way too much money. I bought the wrong kind of rice. I forgot to buy cooking oil. I got home and realized I had no idea how to cook any of the things I bought. I called Rayan. He said, "Okay, let me walk you through making a simple meal. Just rice and eggs." It took me 45 minutes. The rice was a little hard. The eggs were burned, but I ate it. That night, I sat alone and thought about something for the first time in years. I thought about all the meals Rayan had made, all the times food was just ready on the table. I never once stopped to think about how it got there. I felt something uncomfortable. I think it was shame. The bills started coming. I had never seen a bill up close before. I mean, I had seen them. but I never read them. Rayan always handled them before I even noticed. Now they were mine. The electricity bill came first. I looked at it. I did not understand half of the words on it. I did not know what the numbers meant. I called the company. The person on the phone spoke fast and used words I did not understand. I felt stupid. I felt embarrassed. I was 22 and I did not know how to pay a simple bill. I called Rayon again. He explained it patiently. He told me step by step what to do. I did it. It worked. But this time when I hung up, I sat quietly for a while. I thought about how many times Rayon must have done this over the years, quietly, without anyone noticing, without anyone saying thank you. I thought about how I used to sit on the couch while he handled everything. I thought about how I used to complain if dinner was a little late. I thought about how I used to ask him for money without ever asking how he had earned it. I put my phone down. I did not feel good about myself that night. A month passed. Things did not get much easier. I was trying, but I was making a lot of mistakes. I ran out of money 2 weeks before the end of the month. I had to ask my mother for help. That was a very uncomfortable conversation. She gave me the money without saying much, but I could see in her face that she was worried about me. That night, I made a decision. I needed to get a job. I had done small things before, a little work here and there, but nothing serious, nothing consistent. I had always told myself I would find something good when I was ready. The problem was I was never really getting ready for anything. Now I had no choice. I went online. I started looking. Most good jobs wanted experience. I had almost none. Most good jobs wanted skills. I had very few. I had a certificate from school, but that was about it. I applied to many places. Some did not reply. Some said no. One place called me in for an interview. It was a small company. They needed someone to help with deliveries and general work. It was not glamorous, but it was something. I wore clean clothes. I showed up on time. I answered the questions honestly. The man interviewing me was straightforward. He said, "You have not done much work before. Why should I hire you?" I said, "I am a fast learner. I will not let you down." He looked at me for a moment. Then he said, "Okay, come in Monday." I walked out of that building and I felt something I had never felt before. A quiet kind of pride. Not because the job was impressive, because I got it myself. Nobody helped me get it. Nobody made a call for me. Nobody set it up. I did it. It was a small thing, but it felt big. The job was hard. I woke up early every day. I was not used to that. My body complained. My eyes were heavy. My feet hurt by noon. The work was physical. I carried things. I sorted packages. I drove a small vehicle to make deliveries. I dealt with customers. Some were friendly, some were rude, some made me feel like I was invisible. I did not complain. I just worked. After the first week, my hands were sore. After the second week, my back hurt. But something was also changing inside me. I started to feel more alert, more alive, like my brain was switching on for the first time. I watched the other workers. There was an older man named Hassan. He must have been in his 50s. He worked faster than everyone. He never wasted a second. During breaks, he would eat quickly, then check his phone to call his kids, then back to work. He had been doing this kind of work for over 20 years. I asked him one day, "Do you ever get tired of it?" He looked at me and smiled a little. He said, "Every day. But my kids eat because of this job. My daughter is in university now, so I do not think about being tired. I think about her. I nodded. I did not know what to say. I thought about that for a long time after. I thought about how I used to see people like Hassan on the street and never really look at them. They were just people in the background of my life. Now I was sitting next to one. Now I understood a little bit about what his days looked like. That felt important somehow. 2 months into the job, something happened. My manager called me in. I thought I had done something wrong. I sat down nervous. He said, "You have been doing good work. You show up on time. You do not complain. You work hard. Starting next month, you will have a small pay increase." I said, "Thank you," quietly. He nodded, and that was it. The meeting was less than 2 minutes, but I walked out of that room smiling. Not because the pay increase was huge. It was not. But because someone had noticed that I had worked hard. Someone had seen my effort, and that felt different from anything I had ever received as a gift or a favor. This was something I had earned. That evening I cooked myself a proper meal. Still simple. Still not great. But I made it myself. I sat alone at the table and ate quietly. I thought about Rayan. I wanted to tell him about the pay increase, but I also wanted to wait. I wanted to have more to show him first. I wanted him to come back one day and see a different person. Not the kid who sat on the couch. Someone real. 6 months after Rayan left, I called him. He picked up immediately. He sounded happy to hear from me. We talked for a while about small things, his new city, his job, his apartment. Then he asked, "How are things there? How are you managing?" I thought about everything. The burned eggs, the confusing bill, the sore hands, the early mornings, Hassan and his daughter in university, the small pay increase, the quiet dinners where I sat alone and actually thought about things. I said honestly, it was very hard at first. I had no idea what I was doing. Rayan laughed a little. "I know," he said. I was watching. I smiled. He had always been watching. I said, "But I am okay now. I am figuring it out." He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I am proud of you. You know that." Those words hit me differently than I expected. I had heard people say they were proud of me before, usually after I did something small. But this time it felt earned. This time I actually believed it. I want to tell you what I learned, not as advice, just as honest thoughts from someone who spent a long time doing nothing and then had to figure out real life very suddenly. The first thing is that depending on someone is easy and comfortable, but it quietly makes you smaller. Every time someone does something for you that you could do yourself, you lose a little bit of your own strength. You do not notice it, but it adds up. I lost years like that, just coasting, just letting Rayan handle things. I thought I was relaxed. Really, I was just getting weaker. The second thing is that hard work does not feel the way I thought it would. I thought it would feel bad, like punishment. But it actually felt more like waking up. Every hard day taught me something. Every mistake showed me something I did not know before. I started to understand things about life that I could never have learned from sitting on a couch. The third thing is that people who work hard every day are not background characters. They are not just the delivery guy or the cleaning person or the shop worker. They have whole lives. They have families they are working for. They have things that keep them going. I never really saw that before. Now I cannot unsee it. And the fourth thing is simple. Nobody is coming to save you forever. Not your brother, not your parents, not your friends. At some point, you have to pick yourself up and walk on your own. And the sooner you start, the better. Because when you finally walk on your own, it feels better than anything anyone ever gave you. Rayan came back to visit about a year later. He walked into the apartment. He looked around. The place was clean. There was food in the kitchen. I had cooked something for his arrival. It was not perfect, but it was good. He sat down at the table and looked at me. He did not say anything for a moment. Then he said, "Who are you? And what did you do with my lazy little brother?" I laughed. He laughed too. We ate together and talked. For hours. It felt warm. It felt real. It felt like two equals sitting together. Not an older brother carrying a younger one. Just two people who both understood what it meant to work for something. Before he left, he patted me on the shoulder and said, "I knew you had it in you." I thought about that later. Maybe he always knew. Maybe that is why he left. Not just for the job, but because he knew I needed to fall a little before I could stand properly. Maybe that was the kindest thing he ever did for me. So if you are reading this and you feel comfortable right now, if someone is always handling things for you, if you have never had to figure out something difficult alone, I am not saying that is bad. I'm just saying enjoy it, but also pay attention. Learn while you can. Ask questions. Try things even when it is not necessary, because one day things will change. Life always changes. And when that moment comes, you want to be ready. Not because you have money, not because you have connections, but because you have done hard things before and you know you can do them again. That is the only real safety there is.